Hello YouTube, this is just another guy talking about stuff, with another entry in the ongoing series that takes a look, episode by episode, at the greatest television series of all time, Community. The 8th episode of Season 1, Home Economics, originally aired at 8 p.m. on November 5th, 2009, debuting to 5.45 million watchers of television, a small uptick when compared to the previous week. Just a quick reminder, if you've been enjoying these videos, please don't forget to click those like and subscribe buttons to help the channel out. I really appreciate it. This episode features the return of Vaughn, who was last seen 4 episodes ago in Social Psychology. Now, with the ability of hindsight, one of the problems with Community early on may have been how the story threads jumped episode to episode. Here, we not only have the return of a character that we haven't seen in a month, but the Annie-Troy one-sided romance is put into focus in this episode. Their relationship so far has only mildly been hinted at in a handful of episodes. Do you think Annie and Troy was meant to parallel the Jeff-Britta duo? Both situations have characters chasing an unrequited love, although they are in completely different ways. Britta turns down Jeff because she doesn't trust him. Maybe justified, seeing that the first time they met, he created a fake study group just to sleep with her. Troy, on the other hand, is just clueless to Annie because he doesn't even recognize her as a love interest. It doesn't help that Annie is unable to express her feelings after being ignored by Troy throughout their time in high school. It's probably more likely that this is just what happens when you start writing a sitcom. Romance is something easy and interesting to explore. It's something people can relate to in one way or another. This happens basically in every sitcom that has a group of friends. I mean, just look at the show Friends. 2/3 of that cast ended up together by the end of that run. It's very easy to look too deep into a show as dense as Community. The show is constantly asking the audience to peel back layer upon layer of tropes and think about what you are watching. It's why the show is so much fun to rewatch, and another reason why the fan base is so rabid. But what do you think about the contrast in these relationships? Let me know in the comments. So the plot of the episode gets going when Troy asks Annie for her advice about dating a friend. Annie thinks she's talking about her, but come to find out he's actually talking about another girl named Randy. Meanwhile, Britta runs into the aforementioned Vaughn, who blows her off when she asks to talk things out. Pierce offers to talk to Vaughn for her, but Britta forbids him, meaning of course Pierce will ignore her wishes and do it anyway. Then we get another plot thread of this episode when Britta and Shirley notice Jeff washing with a hose outside of his car, with Shirley deducing that Jeff is now living out of it. The next day at the study group, Pierce announces that he joined Vaughn's band, named Some Worries, and they confront Jeff about his living situation. Abed suggests that he crashes with him at the dorms, but Jeff refuses until later when he finds out that his condo is already listed for sale and his current place is being towed away. Troy continues to ask Annie for dating advice, and she helps just for the chance to spend some time with him. The next day, Annie gives Troy the picnic blanket her grandmother used to court her grandfather for his date on the lawn with Randy. Shirley notices this and implores Annie to tell Troy her true feelings. They're interrupted by Vaughn's band, now featuring Pierce on keyboard, singing their new song, Getting Rid of Britta. Just in case the message wasn't clear enough, he stares directly at the subject of the song while he sings about her being a bitch and a liar. When she confronts the band later at practice, Pierce and Vaughn get into an argument. Not because he's worried about Britta's feelings though, it's because Vaughn takes ownership of the song. This gets Pierce kicked out of the band. Vaughn's band, Vaughn's rules. Annie is once again helping Troy prepare for his date with Randy, but when it's time for him to leave, she fakes appendicitis so he'll take her to the student health center. When Nurse Jackie, played by Patton Oswalt, rules out appendicitis, she makes up more symptoms until she's told she needs to be quarantined, and he sends Troy away to go on his date. Britta is worried about Jeff's mental health after he skips Spanish class. Abed confirms her worries, comparing him to E.T., in that their relationship is good for Abed, but is causing Jeff to regress. Abed asks her to use her lady parts to motivate Jeff into taking care of himself. Instead, she steals back his treasured Italian faucets from his old condo and tells him that maybe he does need to be a materialistic phony just to be himself. He takes this as Britta having a thing for him, which gives him enough confidence to transform him back to his old self again. At Troy's date, an outdoor event on campus, Vaughn Band debuts their new song, Pierce, You're a Bee. Pierce is upset at first, but with Pierce, any attention is good attention, so he begins to brag to anyone in listening distance that the song is about him. Annie, who broke out of her quarantine and is wearing a hospital gown, confronts Troy and his date. She is still unable to confess her feelings, but does demand her blanket back. She knows Shirley is disappointed in her, but she assures her that it was a big first step. Jeff thanks Britta and Abed for caring about him as Vaughn and the band play us out. However, the tag shows Pierce writing a revenge rap about Vaughn that Vaughn overhears, which gives you the feeling that this won't be the last we see of him. Home economics is a good example of what this series is about. The episode is one of the funniest so far, with the songs especially standing out as memorable. We get a good amount of character introspection and growth in the episode as well. Every member of the study group has some purpose in this episode. Annie has to confront her feelings for Troy, while Jeff has to confront the failures that led him here. Britta and Abed have to work together to help Jeff. Shirley looks out for Annie and gives advice, and Pierce gets to be in front of a keyboard. Chevy Chase's best moments are arguably in front of a keyboard or piano, so that's always a win. The show will get to build on this character growth as the series moves on, so stay tuned. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, ring the little bell icon to be notified of new videos, and until next time, witty, sign-off catchphrase.